welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to be doing a short set of acrylic nails using colored acrylic. So of course the first thing that I'm doing is going in with a cuticle pusher, and when we're doing this is literally just to push back the cuticles to expose the new growth, and that way it helps with preventing lifting. So as always, you can use a metal cuticle pusher, wood or plastic, as long as you can dispose of or disinfect it. So after we finish pushing back the cuticles, we're going in with a 180 sanding band. I'm using the Scarlet Melody Susie nail drill, which you can buy on their website, and I have a promo code for that, or on Amazon, which I'll leave the link to both of them down below. So again, going around the cuticle area and then also the rest of the nail, and we are just removing the shine. And like I mentioned, I'm using the drill at 5,000 RPMs, but as always, if you are a super beginner, then I would recommend using it at whatever speed you feel comfortable using it at. You can start off at 5,000, and if you feel like it's going a little bit too fast, then of course just slow it down, or vice versa. So you could also use a hand file for this if you don't feel comfortable using a drill, or if you don't have a drill just yet, you can just use a 180 hand file, and the same thing applies, just literally going in there and removing the shine. Our nails are shiny because our body produces a lot of oils. Those oils happen to be on our nails. So if we don't get rid of the shine, it's like putting water and oil together. It's just not going to stick together. They're not going to mix together. So your acrylic would pop off really easily. So as you can see, I'm doing real time on one hand, and then when I get to the other hand, I'm speeding it up. So you get a little bit of both worlds, and I can please people more, I guess. But anyways, we're gonna do the same thing that we did on the first hand, just removing the shine. And then after this, we're gonna go in and just dust the nails off, and then we're gonna start applying the nail tips. Now when it comes to nail tips, as always, your nail tips usually come in a number 0 through a number 9 or 10, 0 being the biggest nail tip and number 10 and 9 being the smallest nail tip. So you want to make sure that you apply the nail tips exactly, like you want them to be the perfect size, because if not, it will cause the nail to break or lift. So the glue that I'm using is the JCVD Concepts nail glue, which I do have a promo code for them, as you guys know. Not too long ago, I switched over to using JCVD Concepts, and I absolutely love them. Every product that I've used from them, I just love. You guys know that I use the entire acrylic collection, which is the colored acrylics. They're clear, they're pink, their cover blush, all of them are so pretty. And then this is my first time using the glue, but it dries super fast as well, and then the bottle is a lot bigger, so it lasts you so much longer as well. So definitely go check them out. My promo code is GetNail32, but I'll be sure to leave that down below. But also, really one of the most important things when applying nail tips, other than making sure that they fit perfectly, is making sure that whenever you apply the nail tip, that you hold their finger really straight, and also make sure that they're sitting right in front of you, because I know this is actually my best friend, and when she was sitting, she was kind of twisted to the side, so her hand wasn't straight at first. So I had to tell her can you sit up, or make sure that you're right in front of me, because then I was having to hold her finger kind of to the side, and then it's possible that the nail could be crooked, and sometimes you don't, you might miss it until the very end when you take the picture or something. That's when you notice it. Alrighties, but after we finish applying the nail tips, I actually broke my tip cutter the other day when I was cutting down someone's acrylic. So right now I'm just using a tip cutter, and I actually broke two of my tip cutters like back to back, so I need to take another one from home to my shop. But as always, just going in and trimming the nails down to their desired length. She wants them pretty short, so or kind of like for her it's like a medium size. They just look a lot shorter because her nail bed is pretty small. She has little baby hands, so they still kind of look a little bit long for her. So again, just going in, trimming down all of the nails. Afterwards, we're gonna measure each nail against each other, and then after that we're gonna cut the size to make sure that they are all the correct size. And as you can see, I just match up each finger against the other and just measure it to make sure that they're both the same size. And then after that, we're going to go in with that same nail clipper and we're just going to trim the sides of the nail down because we are going to shape them into a coffin shape. So we just want to save a little bit of time by just trimming the sides down and then going to go in and start shaping up the nails. And remember that when you're doing this, you want to make sure that you are using a straight edge nail clipper. As you can see, the top of the nail clipper is straight, it's not curved, and you want to make sure that this is what you're using because if not, you're going to mess up your shape. Alrighty, so now we're going to go in with the 80/80 hand file and we're going to start shaping up the nails. So as always, filing the sides at an 90-degree angle, going and filing on both sides and then also filing the free edge to make sure that it's super straight. And then whenever I file the free edge, I hold my file at a vertical angle. And then after that, once we have that nice shape, we can go in and just blend the tip right in the middle where the natural nail and the tip meets. And then we're going to do the same thing on all of them. So remember, you want to make sure that you start filing right where the nail tip starts, which is like right on the side where the free edge is. Where the sidewall is. So go from the sidewall towards the free edge at a 90-degree angle. Make sure that you alternate from side to side. That way you don't overfile. And then filing the free edge. And make sure that when you're doing all of this, that you're paying attention to what you're doing because you will be able to see your shape change. So once you see that, okay, you know, this nail looks good, you can move on to the next one. But if you look at it and it still looks a little bit crooked or you know, maybe you followed a little bit too much on the other side and you have to even it out, that's completely fine. But make sure that you are paying attention as you're doing it. Alrighty, so I dust the nails off, and then now we're going to go in with the JC Beauty Concepts Extra Bond, which is the primer. And this is just going to help the acrylic adhere better to the natural nail. And you just want to apply this to the natural nail. And then also I want to let you guys know that when it comes to like buying a primer, I suggest just buying the same brand as your acrylic system, because no matter what, like, or how much you spend on a primer, you know, like you can literally buy $1 million primer, and if you didn't do like all of the steps correctly, you still will get lifting. A lot of people think that just using a good primer is going to eliminate lifting, and that is not true at all. I've said this plenty of times before, but the primer, like I said, it just helps the acrylic adhere better to the nail. But if you don't prep the nail correctly, if you don't apply the correct size tips, if you don't use the correct liquid to powder ratio, and especially if you do not seal that acrylic around the cuticle area right, you will still get lifting. So that's why I say just go ahead and buy the same primer as your acrylic system. But anyways, now we're just going in and applying the acrylic, and I am using the JC Beauty Concepts Clear Acrylic, and we're just going to go ahead and do a coat of that on, or sorry, a bead of that on all of the nails. And this is just going to be the base. Since we are using colored acrylic, you guys know that that's something that I always do. That way, next time whenever she comes in, we can just file away the colored acrylic, and then she'll still have clear underneath. That way we don't have to do a new set next time when she comes, if she wants, you know, a different colored acrylic. Alrighty, so after we finish doing the clear, now we're going to go in with the colored acrylic. So for this now, I am doing kind of like a champagne color, and it is shimmery. So we're just going to do that on the ring finger. As you can see, I applied my bead, and I'm just patting it down, making sure that it's all nice and smooth, and then blending it down towards the free edge. Now, whenever you're doing small nails, I know that I always say to stick to a certain method, but honestly, short nails for me are a little bit harder than doing longer nails. Not necessarily that they're hard, but you just have to be like really tedious, I guess, and just be really careful to not apply like way too much acrylic, because then they're gonna look like really chunky, or not necessarily chunky, but like a little bubble on top of their nail if they're too thick. So just making sure that you are careful about that, because also remember that we still have to encapsulate. So you are literally just applying the colored acrylic for color. Just as long as you have a good coverage and it doesn't look patchy or anything, then you're good to go, and then you do the clear over it. I think that's pretty much it. We're gonna do this one just like this, and then we are gonna do some marble nails, which will be I think the index finger and the pinky, and then the middle finger and the thumb are just gonna be a plain nude color. As you can see, this one is shimmery. So honestly, I don't know what I was thinking, but I suggest that when you're doing nails and you're using like glitter acrylics, like say you're only using glitter acrylic on like one nail, I suggest to do that nail last, because then that glitter is going to get everywhere. It's going to get on the rest of the nails as well. So you will see that on the next hand, I am going to leave this nail for last, because then, like I said, the shimmer did get a little bit on the other nails, and I didn't want that. Alrighty, so for this nail, we're just gonna do a pink acrylic over the entire nail. So as you can see, whenever I'm doing short nails, so I applied my first bead like closer to the cuticle area, and then I just pat it down very gently and then brushing it down towards the tip. Since the nail is not long at all, I don't necessarily have to do like the 4-ball method where it's like one at the tip, one you know, closer to the middle, one at the back, and then one over the entire nail. Like, you still want to make sure that you have a nice apex and thickness at the tip, but you know, it's gonna not require as much acrylic as if you were doing long nails, if that makes sense. But like I said, we're still doing the clear underneath, the colored acrylic, and then clear on top to encapsulate the nail. Alrighty, so for the index finger, we're going to be doing a slight marble nail. I'm going to be using that same nude that I used on the middle finger. I'm also going to use a white acrylic, and then I'm going to use that same glittery champagne color that I used on the ring finger. And then, of course, encapsulating. So as you can see, whenever I'm doing this, I'm only applying a little bit of acrylic at a time. That way it's not too thick. So make sure that you pay attention to that as you're doing it. And y'all, I'm sorry, but if you hear a little snoring, I'm doing this voiceover and Ice-T is laying right next to me, and he is so big and heavy now that it's so hard for me to pick him up and move him somewhere. But he's steady, like I'm steady trying to like wake him up, but as soon as he falls back asleep, he starts snoring, and he snores like a grown man, y'all. Alrighty, so now for the pinky, we're gonna do the exact same thing that we just did on the index finger, and then on the thumb, we're gonna do the same thing that we did on the middle finger, which is just the plain pink acrylic. And that's gonna be pretty much it. We're gonna do the same thing on the other hand, but remember, the main important thing when doing short nails is making sure that you're not using too much acrylic, and that you're also super gentle when you're brushing down the acrylic, so you're not like brushing the acrylic off the nail. Another thing is making sure that you clean around your cuticle area really good. You don't want any product on the skin, because if you do, it's going to dry up pretty easily if you don't wipe it off just in time, and then most likely you will get lifting. And then also making sure that you clean your brush off a lot as you're working. Alrighty, so after we finish applying the acrylic, we're going in with that same 80/80 hand file, and we're just going to reshape the nails. So we're just going in on the sides and the free edge at a 90-degree angle like we did at the very beginning to shape the nails. But as always, after you apply the acrylic, it kind of takes away from your shape and it kind of round the corners off. So we just want to go in there and redefine that shape. Alrighty, so now what we're gonna do is go in with the e-file. I'm using it at 10,000 RPMs, and we're gonna file around the cuticle area first, going from the right side all the way over to the left side. And this is to seal the acrylic around the cuticle area. You don't want there to be any gap in between the natural nail and the acrylic, because any lotion, any face wash, just water in general that gets trapped underneath the nail is gonna cause the nail to lift super easily. And we don't want that, because it could also cause you to get a little greenie underneath the acrylic from that moisture. So make sure that you seal that acrylic really good. And usually I'm able to tell that I filed good enough when I'm able to see where the cuticle is, where the natural nail is, and where the acrylic is. So we know that the acrylic is not on the skin. And then of course filing the rest of the nail to make sure that it's all nice and smooth. And usually my nails are pretty smooth once I apply the acrylic, but I just want to make sure that I blend everything in, and like I said, that everything is super smooth. And I know I get that question asked a lot about, like, how do I get rid of any bumps and lumps? And the only way to get rid of them is by filing the nails. So if you file the nails and they still are bumpy, then the only thing you can do is go in and file some more. Alrighty, so now we're gonna go in with the buffer and we're just gonna buff the nails really good. And this is to get rid of any of the scratches left on the nails from the hand file or the e-file. So make sure that you buff those nails really good, because then we don't want to be able to see the scratches when we apply the top coat. So once we finish buffing the nails, we just dust them off, and then I'm wiping them off with an alcohol wipe to get rid of any of that dust that's left on there. And then after that, we're going to go in and apply some bling. So we're just going to apply some around the cuticle area on the middle finger, and then we're also going to do like 1 or 2 on the pinky and the index finger. And I am using the Soleil nail adhesive, which is a glue for your bling, and I've been using this for a while, and it stays, my bling stay on like a really long time. I think the longest that someone has gone without getting a fill was maybe 4 weeks, and she had a full set of like all bling, and all of her bling stayed on like with no problem at all. So it's just really good. I'll be sure to leave her link down below for you guys. But as you can see, like I said, we're just applying some around the cuticle area. That is the AB, SS6 and SS12. And then on the pinky, I'm gonna do just like 1. And then on the index finger, I'm gonna do like 2. And then afterwards, I spray the bling with the Hurry Up spray from Amazon, and I'll be sure to leave the link down below for you guys so you guys can check it out. Okay, actually, instead of the index finger, I'm doing the thumb, and I'm gonna do 1 SS12 and then an SS6 right underneath it. But as I was saying, the Hurry Up spray, it just helps the glue dry a lot faster. It's like when you spray it, it instantly just dries that glue. Since it is a gel resin, it is a little bit thicker than just regular nail glue, so it takes a little bit longer to dry, which is why I recommend that you use that Hurry Up spray. And that bottle is pretty big, so it lasts me a long time. And I'll leave the link down below to my Amazon storefront, where I add everything that I recommend from Amazon. And then as you can see, I'm going in now and just applying the Madam Glam Gel Top Coat, which I absolutely love and definitely recommend. As you guys know, I also use a lot of gel polish, and all of my gel polish is from Madam Glam. So I'll be sure to leave that link in the description, as well as a promo code. Alrighty, y'all, so here is the final look. As you can see, they turned out super pretty. I love those colors, and the bling just added a little bit more to it. So as always, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at GetNo32, and I will see you guys next time.